All right, so on today's quick video, I'm going to show you how to create a very simple but neat kind of intro cinematic or exit cinematic, kind of however you decide to video it, or really just play with this if you're in a realm or a server with your friends. So what it'll be is we're going to have text kind of appear from fire or appear from an explosion in the best Minecraft way we can, right? So the way that you'll do this is you'll need TNT to explode something, right? And then we'll also need redstone, dust, and a lever. And we're just doing this to kind of be cute with it. You really don't need the redstone, dust, or the lever if you don't care about seeing. You could still use the lever, but you don't need the redstone dust to set it up. You could just put the lever on the TNT, which I'll show you in a second. But I prefer to kind of make it a little pretty. And then you're going to want to use some form of obsidian. You can use the crying obsidian, which I think looks cooler, or you can use regular obsidian. You could also use bedrock, up to you. And of course, if you can't tell, we're doing this in creative mode. Just a heck of a lot easier to do it in creative mode. So let's say, you can kind of see flat world around us, right? So let's say you just wanted to spell any word, right? So to make it simple and just for explanation's sake, we'll just do like the word C. So S. I'll make it nice and big here. Let's see the S. Just go 1 over. You have to go 5 high to make the E look normal. And then do the same thing one more time. Okay. So you can see we have the word C, right? Now, in order to make it appear from something, if you're doing this in survival or if you have hills or caves generated, it looks easier or it looks cooler because you can blend it into the background. But if you're going to do it on creative just to, again, have some kind of cool opening or closing 5-second cinematic, just to say what your channel name is or something like that, you'll set it up kind of like this. So there's not going to be anything around it. You don't have to put TNT perfectly like this, but I'm just going to do it since it's easy. So you're going to have a layer of TNT between the obsidian and some other material. So for this, we'll just use dirt. And then let's take the grass block as well. Let's make it pretty. And then you're going to do the same thing again. So if you're doing this in survival or you're even in creative, if you have structures generating to where you have essentially not flat earth, right? Like you have some hills, that kind of stuff, then you can blend this into the hill, which is pretty neat because then it doesn't just look like a mound of dirt in the middle of a field. But for this quick and easy tutorial, we're just going to make it blend in. We're supposed to use the grass block on top to make it look somewhat normal. So now we have it all across the top and filled in. So if you back away, all you can see from the front is dirt, right? So to set it up, you will want to put a lever against TNT, right? So like I mentioned before, you don't need to have TNT as an entire wall. So what I would recommend doing is redstone dusting. How do we want to do this? Could kind of come out and then down. So we could build kind of like this little like tunnel way, I guess if you want to call it. So it'll come out here, drop down, and then we could run it this way. Whoops. So then what we'll want to do to cover this is kind of make a little bit of a structure here, right? So I mean, again, this is going to look kind of funny because we're not blending it into anything, but like a hill or something like that. But you can see here, we can kind of run this out and it's covered. Let's say we went to like right here. So what we could even do here, instead of running it above ground, is drop it down. So then all you're going to see is, see how the dust goes down here. And then we kind of do it back to this platform that we're going to stand on. So it'll go here, here, here. Then we're going to go up the ramp and then up on top of the platform. So now to cover it, just go like that. And you could, again, we're doing this quickly. You could go in and really go crazy on this, right? Clean this up, make it all look uniform, that kind of thing, right? But we're just going to do this quickly. So now, when you go to create that like cinematic, you would kind of do something like this, right? After you hit the lever, and then you'll see the letters behind you. So the bigger you make the letters, the longer the word. You got to keep that in mind in terms of the size of the screen. But as you'll see here, when I go to flip the switch, redstone turns on, leaving the letter C behind. So on creative, you can set up how you want the ground to look. So again, you can float the letters higher. You can actually change what layer bedrock is in the super flat world. So you can make it to where bedrock is right below the dirt surface. So when it blows up, you don't see kind of the dirt around the edges there. But yeah, you could create a logo if you have a logo. Pretty easy, kind of as you saw me spell it out, right? I mean, it literally takes 5 minutes. When you're going through, you notice how there's no TNT left. There's nothing around there because I put all the TNT on the front. So you'll see, even if you had, let's say, a cave behind it, you can tell just from looking at it that it blew back almost 10 blocks. So just having an entire wall of TNT there on the front, you're going to get enough like blow back to separate the letters from the background. So even if it's inside of a cave, right, you can do something like that. It'll look pretty cool. So I would recommend doing it on super flat because it kind of gives a little bit of a better, I don't know, like cinematic setup, right? Like there's a long horizon. The focus is on you, the character. It's not really focusing on the background. I would recommend knocking it up a little bit off the ground so you can see now how they're floating, which I think looks really cool. But you probably want to be somewhere in this ballpark. Like you want the letters to really stand out. So I would definitely go bigger than 5 high. You're just going to have to get creative in terms of blending something in the background. So if you want it to fit into a cave, if you want it, or the side of a hill, that kind of thing, cool. But if you're going to do it on super flat, you got to get somewhat creative with what the structure is going to be around it. Otherwise, you're just going to have a massive mound of dirt. But this will work again for any block as long as it's obsidian or crying obsidian or bedrock. So the reason you need to have one of those structures is it doesn't blow up. So even if you put TNT on it here, lever, ignite the TNT, it will not blow up obsidian. So if you have, it doesn't matter what you put around it. You could put diamond around it. You could put gold ore. You could put cobblestone. Doesn't matter. Whatever you put around the blocks will automatically blow up, but the obsidian will not. So put that there. We put dirt right next to it. And then you'll see when it blows up, dirt disappears, but everything else stays the same. So you could do that with bedrock as well. So in creative, you can destroy bedrock just by tapping it, but it's not explosive. See, so same thing. So if you'd rather use bedrock as your lettering, then that also works as well. All right, well, that is it for this very quick tutorial on how you can make letters explode or come out of an explosion. Very easy, very basic, but it's almost so simple and so basic that most people don't think to try it. So if you have a very simple logo or your channel name, character name is simple, it's not 15 letters long, then you can definitely fit it into a screen, right? So I mean, you could easily see here, I mean, this is only 3, But if I back away from it, you know, I could fit probably 8 to 10 letters here, depending on the size. And you can also, right, like kind of do one of these depending on how you set up the letters as well. So pretty cool, simple trick. If you're new to YouTube or new to gaming and you just want to, I don't know, come up with a free inside of Minecraft opening cinematic, opening 15-second intro, outro, there you go. As always, if you enjoy these short mini tutorials or you enjoy the Let's Play playlists that we're doing here on the channel, hit that subscribe button so you know when that next video comes out. Always appreciate those likes. And then hit that little bell. That way you're the first to find out when a new video drops.